Okay, we're going to paint our design, which is our side design, and I've got that trace right here. We're going to use our value scale. Also, I've got value 3, a value 8, and value 6 sitting here. I'm going to start out with the medium value, which is value 5, and I've provided an attachment, a file that says it's called the flipped for upper left light source. The value map that's included with our lesson is an upper right hand light source, so I flipped it for you and saved it that way on my computer and sent it to you so that you can see it easier. You're going to have to read the numbers backwards, but it works. So first thing I want to do is take my value 6, and I need a value 5, so I'm going to have to get a little bit of the darker just to bring it down some from the value 6 into the value 5. So I'm going to brush mix that a little bit. Just mix that a little bit, and come over here and see if it matches my value 5, and I think it does. Yeah, it's a little bit in between, but remember that when it dries, it's going to dry 10% darker, so it's going to dry a value darker. So first thing I'm going to do is the pear. So I'm going to come in right about here. We're making a sphere, so I'm doing circle shape following strokes, and then I'm going to come down here and do that also. Now our medium value always takes up the most space, and I'm putting it in places where other values are going to go, but I'm kind of putting it as a foundation, and we'll blend into that. So okay, I've got the value 5 going, and then we see from that map that we need, let's go with our darks first, that next we need to have a value 4. So I'm going to come back here, and I've got a 3, and I want to bring that just a little bit lighter, so I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of the value 6 and mix that together. Now this should look darker than the mix that we just made, because it's one value darker. Alright, and then I'm going to put that on, pull back on my brush, pat blend those together, and I'll do the same thing here. Blend. Right. Next we need a value 3. We've got that. So I'll load my brush in the value 3. And I'm going to come right back here. Now, you know, this apple's in the way, so we just paint what we can see. I'm going to come all the way around here. And then we will wipe the brush and pat blend. Pull back on your grip on your brush, pat and wipe, and pat and wipe. And if you've never oil painted, this is the way it's done. I thought oil painting was really hard and I could never figure out how to do it. Found out it was a whole lot easier than shading and floating and highlighting. Okay, and let's see, we need to put some up here. Let's go around here with it. Come all the way around. Put a finger in the thing. And remember that these are globals and they don't dry as fast as the acrylics, so what I put down here is still wet. Okay. Next, we need a value 2. So I need to pull some black out on my palette. There we go. So that's our value 1. So let's take some value 3 and some value 1 and make a value 2. And just put it on the outside. And we have to stop here because the apple's in the way. And we're going to come on around right about to there. And wipe your brush off. Come in and pat blend. Pat and wipe. Just pat for about 1/2 inch or so and you wipe. Very, very important to do that wiping, because if you don't, then you've got too much paint in your brush and you just end up with mud. You can't blend. My napkin to wipe with is just underneath my camera. That's why you see me reaching up. There it is. And you see how often I wipe. And if you want to refine, you can either use your Bringle blender, your Betty Bird blender, or you can use a mop. Both will do the same thing. And your goal is to erase any foreseeable line. Okay. Now let's go with, let's get lighter now. Let's go to the value 6. I have that on my palette already. Now, see, I haven't cleaned my brush for any of this, and I'm not going to. I'm just wiping it, so that there's always just a little bit of that last color we used in there, and that helps with our blending. So now we're going to put a value, or value 4, value 6, right about here, in a circular motion, and I'm going to put that right here, and let's put it all the way around here, and right around, all the way around here. Okay. Wipe my brush and then pull back, start to pat blend. Wipe and pat. Let me bring my thing back up here so you can see. Pat, wipe, pat and wipe. Got a little bit of a glare from the lights here on my piece, so it's hard for me to tell if I'm getting it blended. Now I think I've still got some marks. Let me see if I can move this around to where I can see it without a glare. There we go.